So earlier this year, actually at the start of this year, a game came out that was called palworld, and you might have heard about it. It was pretty much a game where everyone's like, oh my god, this is the Pokemon that we've been waiting for, even though it's not really like Pokemon, but more just in the aesthetics and the fact that you have creatures that look like Pokemon and the same mechanics in the sense of that you throw a ball and then you capture a creature or a pocket monster is what they call it. And it took the whole world by storm because it was like Pokemon but with guns, when it was kind of like Pokemon but survivor type game, where it's kind of like Ark and all the other survival based games but just with a Pokemon theme to it. Either way, the game came out and it took the world by storm and it broke so many goddamn records. It's actually pretty wild when you think about just how much it broke records. Like on Steam charts, the game at its peak, over 2 million players. It's pretty fucking good. Now, of course, people are gonna be like, oh my god, it has 13,000 players now. That's awful. Every game's gonna die out, bro. No game is ever just gonna sit there and maintain the same player base over every single month. People are gonna move on to new games. Games are always constantly coming out, so there's no shot that people are just gonna be locked into this game and then never play anything else. Once a new patch comes out, once something big comes out, people are gonna come back to it. But the point is, it's a game that took the whole internet by storm, and everybody was on it. Trust me, everybody was playing this game. And so following the release of this game, you had situations where people were letting Nintendo know about the game as if they didn't know about it. One of the biggest games at launch, and then you said there had one situation where this happened, where Nintendo goes after palworld Pokemon modder, where someone was trying to put Pokemon into the actual game, which should be pretty clear why Nintendo would go after this immediately. And then on top of that, then you had this situation where this is where people were wondering if Pokemon was ever going to do anything, and this is where it was left off. And it says, the Pokemon company says it will investigate palworld, and it says it will take appropriate measures if it finds the game people are calling Pokemon with guns infringed on its IP. And if you're curious that this was real, I mean, of course it is. The Verge isn't reporting on random bullshit, but you can actually go to the official Pokemon's website and it's still here, and it says inquiries regarding other companies' games. We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January 2024. We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or assets in that game. We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to the Pokemon franchise. We will continue to cherish and nurture each and every Pokemon in its world and work to bring the world together through Pokemon Future. And then that's where they left it off. At that point, they were like, all right, we'll look into it. And then month after month went by, never said a single thing. People assumed they were in a clear. Nothing was going to happen. Pokemon didn't find anything wrong, because on top of that, you got to remember, palworld was announced a long time ago. This isn't something that was just, it didn't just happen last night. This was something, let me see, pulled it up for you right there. Yeah, so you had palworld, the original announced trailer was over 3 years ago. If they really wanted to shut this down immediately, they could have, but they didn't. So clearly they found nothing wrong at that time, at least to the point to shut it down. And so they let it go on for months. And then when they said they were going to investigate, people assumed that, hey, they're not doing anything about it. It's been, it's fucking September now. So it's like, well, before they announced it, right? Before we get into that. But people assume, hey, they haven't announced anything yet. Probably not found anything or anything worth doing. And then you get to last night where things really hit the fan. So last night, but more like, I guess this morning, at least for my time, it was in the morning. And palworld made a statement on their Twitter and says, regarding the lawsuit, yesterday a lawsuit was filed against our company for patent infringement. We have received notice of this lawsuit and will begin to appropriate legal proceedings and investigations into the claims of patent infringement. At this moment, we are unaware of specific patents we are accused of infringing upon, and we have not been notified of such details. Pocket Pair is a small indie company based in Tokyo. Our goal as a company has always been to create fun games. We will continue to pursue this goal because we know that our games will bring joy to millions of gamers around the world. palworld was a surprise success in this year for both gamers and for us. We were blown away by the amazing response to the game and have been working hard to make it even better to our fans, and we will continue improving palworld and strive to create a game that our fans can be proud of. It is truly unfortunate that we will be forced to allocate significant time to matters unrelated to game development due to this lawsuit. However, we will do the utmost to our fans and to ensure that indie game developers are not hindered and discouraged from pursuing these creative ideas. We apologize to our fans and supporters for any of the worry or discomfort that this news has caused. As always, thank you for continued support of palworld and Pocket Pair. And so at the time of me making this video, there hasn't been any more information that's really dropped, at least not that I'm aware of. The actual lawsuit itself hasn't actually been published, at least that I'm tracking. If it does get published, I'll either post it at the end of this video or I'll make a new video going over it once it is released. But it is very interesting to see this situation because I played palworld and I actually enjoyed it. I don't think it's a bad game at all. I personally had a pretty fun time, and I think that it was a nice change to the Pokemon formula and just the fact that you had something different. I am still a firm believer that Pokemon Coliseum is one of the best fucking games ever. If you ever get a chance to find a way to play this legally, you get yourself a GameCube and get the game disc, I highly recommend you play this game. This is a fucking banger. This is one of the best Pokemon games to have ever been created. I was so excited to play this as a kid, and I'm still excited to play this as an adult. And I'm even going to probably replay through it at some point in time because it was just that good. This is such a great formula, and I'm so disappointed that they never expanded upon this or did anything else with it because it has so much fucking potential. Point being, a lot of people like palworld because it was something different. It wasn't the same generic slop. And look, I'm not saying that Pokemon games are terrible. Far from that. Obviously, they're good because they sell and people buy them and people enjoy them. If they were awful, people wouldn't play. But I think it could be said that the formula is pretty stale and that it's pretty cookie cutter formulaic bullshit. Like, once you play a couple of the recent ones, it feels the same. I played the newest one. It was all right, but it didn't really blow me away. I don't like that they never changed the setting. They don't make anything else, pretty different from other games. It's pretty much the same story and journey over and over and over. Whereas this one is fucking different. You still motherfuckers Pokemon. That's fucking cool. You're this fucking dude who just comes around and is actually a good guy, but he goes around stealing people's Pokemon that are like, I don't know, they're like tarnished or they got like corrupted or I don't know. It's been so long since I played it. But I just remember that you can steal people's Pokemon and that you're just this badass who rides a fucking motorbike. Let me see. Do they have it right here? I want to show this shit so much. I'll find it right now. Yeah, like look at this, bro. You can't tell me that this shit don't look fun. Come on now, motherfucker he got his Pokemon. Was it Evian or Vesperion? I forgot all these motherfuckers' names. But yeah, like yo, this is fucking fire. This is what should really, they should be capitalizing on that and making some banger ass games and this type of style. I think this would be great in modern day personally, but hey, you know what? To each their own, right? Point is, Pokemon fans have been starving. They want something different. They're getting tired of the same shit. On top of that, Pokemon is only on the Switch, only on Nintendo consoles, so it makes it that much harder. That's part of the reason it leads to so much success that it had on Steam, was because it was something that was at least similar and close to the Pokemon style, but people could actually play. And then on top of that, it just happened to have a decent crafting survival game that was attached to the art style and just the Pokemon in general. Honestly, with this lawsuit, I think it fucking sucks, to be completely honest. I don't think this is good at all. I feel like all this is going to do is discourage anyone else from trying to make their own Pokemon style game. Of course, it could always be said, the argument, well, there's Temtem, there's a bunch of other random pocket monster type catching games that no one has ever really heard about, myself included. Temtem is really the only game that I'm aware of personally that I know about, but the rest of them I've never actually heard about, but I know they exist. But personally from my end, and maybe this is what they have a patent on, is that throwing a ball-shaped device at a monster or a creature is patented by Nintendo. You can't do that. Maybe you have to throw something else. I couldn't really tell you. Maybe that's the patent infringement here. I think that's fucking silly if that is the case. Throwing a fucking ball to capture a creature being patented. I think that fucking video game patents are awful, to be honest. Hey, if it's a good idea and your game does it best, people are going to go to your game. I understand the idea that you originated it, you don't want your competitors taking it because then people don't have any reason to go back to your game. But the thing is, if your game is fucking good, people are going to go to your game regardless. And I feel like that's almost what one of these cases are. On top of that, they spent fucking 8 months more or less trying to get this all together. I feel like that they were probably grasping at straws trying to find any little thing that they could use against this company so that they could fucking take them to court. I don't really know again what the case is going to be for this lawsuit. I think it's fucking scummy all around, to be honest. I don't really know what the outcome of this is going to be. I hope that palworld at least wins, in the sense that Pokemon doesn't just bully them or Nintendo bullies them around. If there's actually a real case that they did infringe on some patent, that is something that Nintendo truly, deserves to have a patent on, that, it's like, all right, yeah, you know what, palworld's actually in the wrong, then yeah, I'm willing to back Nintendo up for that. But do I think that that's the case? Personally, I don't think so. Knowing how fucking litigious these motherfuckers are with their lawyers and how they go after almost every goddamn person on this fucking planet just for anything of the caliber that infringes on their IP just even slightly, I don't know, dog. Nintendo's really litigious, and if anyone remembers the whole YouTube situation from back in the day, for those that are unaware, Nintendo used to have a YouTube creators program for all their content, so that you had to be, if I recall correctly, you had to be partnered with them to even upload the gameplay or any footage of their games, typically to YouTube, or else you would get like a copyright strike or a video takedown, which is fucking wild to say that. But yeah, Nintendo's been a part of a lot of fucking awful decisions. They make great games. I like that Switch back there, even though it fucking sucks in terms of hardware. But all this other legal shit that they normally get into, I don't fuck with that, dog. It fucking sucks. You know, it's a shame that that's kind of what this company is. But hey, it is what it is. If you made this far into the video, consider giving a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment what you think. Have a great day. Yeah.